Good morning. I am Reshma. Today I am here to explain a poem for the class BA B.Ed second year, paper 2, Poetry and Drama, Unit 3, for Riaz Lover, written by Robert Browning. Coming to the introduction about the poet Robert Browning. He was an English poet and a playwright. His dramatic monologues made him one of the most foremost Victorian poets. Now, a dramatic monologue. Monologue is something which is written or told only by one person. Like when we talk about dialogue, dialogue is between two or more than two persons. Monologue is just told by or written by one person. That is, actions are being done only by one person. His poems show his irony, characterization, dark humor, social commentary, historical settings, and challenging vocabulary and syntax. His famous works were Pied Piper of Hamelin. This is almost all of us have heard about it. Men and Women, The Ring and the Brook, My Last Duchess, etc. These are a few of his famous works. Now, coming to the poem Porphyria's Lover. This is a poem which was published in the form of a short dramatic monologue. This monologue is spoken by the abnormal or insane lover of Porphyria after he has strangled her. That is, the part of the body which is having the blood supply reduced or cut to compromise or to compress the blood vessels. That is, in simple language, we can say is a simple cold-blooded murder or gala dabana, something whatever you call. Now the summary of the poem. The poem opens with an admirable piece of natural or nature discussion. The first very line itself is saying, the rain set early in tonight. Like it was raining, the wind was soon to awake. It was raining and the winds also were blowing, and it tore the tops. So here it is talking about the sad moods, and he does not want to talk about it. He is talking about it, but at the same time, he does not want to talk about it. Here, the young and beautiful Porphyria, separated from her lover by the barriers of social rank and birth, escaped from her house on a stormy night, when feasting and merrymaking was going on. So this is just for our understanding before we read the poem. Like the girl, young, beautiful Porphyria, she loved her lover very much. So, when there was a family function or a family gathering going on in her house, amongst all this, she left her house, breaking all the social barriers, and it was a stormy night. It was raining heavily, and the winds also were blowing, so it was a stormy night. She left her house to come to her lover's house. Here, the wind is personified as an agent of destruction. As the poem goes on, we will understand what destruction is going to take place. Thus, the full fury and violence of the storm is brought home to the readers. Thus, we come to know why the violence of the storm is being described. And the tops of elm trees. Elm is a type of tree, and the ruffled the water and the lakes. Why they are talking about the ruffling of the water and the lakes. Now, Porphyria lover listened to the noise of the storm. Her lover was sitting in his house. He heard the noise of the storm and he was in a frustrated and despairing mood. At that very moment, and quite contrary to his expectation, like he did not expect, he was in a bad mood, frustrated mood, and it not to his expectation, his beloved stepped into his cottage, stepped into his house. He was taken aback, like he was surprised. He thinks it must have given her a great courage on her part to come out on such a stormy night, as it is when it's raining. Even if we have a lot of urgent work, we try to avoid it. Oh, it's raining, we will do it afterwards. But in such a stormy and rainy night, his lover had come to his house, so he says she had required a lot of courage. Immediately after her entry into the cottage, Porphyria closed the door and shut the cold and the storm. So she closed the door, and as she closed the door, the cold and the storm, they were all shut outside. Because as we close the windows and the doors, the cold, the storm and all, they cannot come inside. So she closed the door to stop all the cold and the storm outside. Then she knelt down to kindle up the dying fire. That is, she knelt down to put some woods or pieces of wood into the dying fire. It means there were only just a few burning pieces of wood or just ashes. So she put some wood in the fire which was just dying, and no sooner had she made the fire, the cottage became warm. As she put the woods, it started burning and the cottage became warm. This warmth and coziness within the cottage is well contrasted with the chilliness and the rain outside. Now here there is a contrast. Outside it was very cold, raining and stormy, and inside it is very warm and cozy. So it is a contrast. Then she goes up and she took off her dripping cloak. Cloak is a loose coat without sleeves. Like she had worn a coat, a loose overcoat without sleeves or a sleeveless coat. Her shawl and her hat and her dirty gloves, and laid them down. After this, She stepped forward and sat by the side of her lover and lovingly addressed him. Here, till she was doing all this, her lover was just sitting and watching her speechlessly. He was not saying anything, nor he did any movements at all. So, after removing her cloak, which was almost wet, her shawl, hat, and gloves, she put them on the ground, and then she moved forward and sat by the side of her lover and started addressing him. Her golden long hair fell on his shoulders, like she went and sat very close to him. So that is why her long and golden hair, they fell on his shoulders. Having failed to get any reply, so she started addressing him. She started telling him, giving him some reasons or something, that I have left my house and all that. Here the poet hasn't mentioned anything, but she just, she put her arm around his waist and also, but the writer doesn't reply anything. Having failed to get any reply from him, she made her smooth white shoulder place on his cheek. So when she addressed the writer, he did not give any reply. So now she tried to do some physical actions, and her golden hair spread over his shoulders. First they had just fell on his shoulders. Now when she put her cheeks on his cheek, her golden hair, they spread on his shoulders. So this is about the first stanza or the first few lines of this poem, Porphyria's Lover. We shall continue the rest of the poem in our next video. Thank you.